Streaming. Tom, tell them where we're streaming, and then go to your online.
Yeah, I think it's
question.
actually been a little bit since we mentioned this, right? But we stream this all over the internet, right? So we're live right now on YouTube, Facebook, the platform formerly known as Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn. We're live all over the place. We're live on the internet, and of course right here in the clubhouse room. My buddy Chris down in Savannah, Georgia, posted a couple of questions. He's a behaviorist in the canine industry, specifically works with folks who have problem dogs. And one of the things that he's running into is he's having a really hard time, marketing what he does. How do you market business or services that don't fall into the sort of traditional results driven categories? A lot of times the clients are the problem, right? So this might be one for JC. This is probably something you've come up against, as a coach, or other coaches in the room have come up against, is that a lot of times people are their own worst enemy, right? A lot of times they're the ones holding themselves back from accomplishing what they want to accomplish through kind of their own behavior, whether they realize it or not. And I think a lot of times for Chris, the owners of the dogs are the reason why the dogs have behavior problems, right? The dogs don't just kind of create them on their own. And his industry sort of markets quick fixes and quick results. Curious to hear what you guys think. Any coaches in the room want to jump into that? Brian Swift, right away.
It's hard because they are promising that this animal will do these things, and they don't even get into a deep dive on how you need to use it. I mean, it's so specific. They don't even ask you the questions about how you're going to utilize the dog. But they say they train them for anybody and everybody. And you just can't train a generic dog for anybody and everybody. These people are out there training them and not asking specific questions. But the ones that the people that are good at it, they do a deep dive, and I think somebody mentioned this. They do a deep dive into you, who you are, and how you're going to use the dog.
I'll jump in very quickly.
Go on, John.
And the one thing we don't do, for example, with dogs, is tell people, we all know that the vast majority of problems with dogs are the owners, not the dogs, because people treat their dogs like humans, and the dogs treat them like dogs. That's what they do. But if you tell people that they're wrong, they're the problem, that's the first thing in your mouth, you're going to have a really tough time.
So I think, JC, did you flash off there? Then we're going to get to Lauren.
Yeah, I just want to add a little color to what everybody else has said. It's funny that Brian was talking about dogs, because, the idea that Tom mentioned about, the problem typically lies in people being in their own way. They're not there to actually get results. If you think about it, right? Those massive, business models are there to make people feel better about their problem. But it's a business, right? See, the problem is the consumer doesn't know that they're not actually going to go somewhere, but they end up liking it because they feel better, like they have a big breakthrough or distinctions. And that's what I'm frustrated with, is these services that are obviously out there, not to help people grow, but just to make them feel better. Because you don't have to do something on a massive scale. If you can help 100 people like actually measurably grow, then you'll be extremely successful.
Yeah, the stuff that I have learned over the last 3 years or so watching him, it's just taken me where I never thought I'd get to. It's weird. The more you see, the more you know you're not seeing. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. But going to the seminar, I mean, I remember, I don't know whether it was you asked me or Nikki asked me, was it what you expected? And it was exactly what I expected. Exactly what I expected. I thought it was incredible. There was such learning going on. It was fascinating to see how Chris dealt with the individuals that were there. It's not my personal style, and I think it's an individual thing. But yeah, it was incredible. It was incredible to attend. Advice to give to someone who is attending: be open-minded, be ready to learn. But somebody who's considering attending, just do it. Just do it. What gobsmacked me was the amount of trainers who weren't there. Absolutely gobsmacked. I expected far more trainers to be there. But the problem is when you get to trainers, you're dealing with egos. Obviously, the internet is a cesspit of dog training. But there are some gems in there. It's just getting through the shit to find where the gems are. Fortunately, in Chris, we found one.
So we'll do it slowly, okay? So ready? Don't fucking go crack. We're gonna go slow, right? We have that trust? You don't have any weapons on you at all? Do you? All right, turn this way. Turn this way. Okay, ready? Slow mo. Go ahead. Say, step forward. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna back up, but you swing like I'm there. Go. Okay, sit up there.
Okay.
Swing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, swing. Your priorities changed. Did you see? Your priorities changed. I know, but your priorities changed because if I kick the table, you're like, ah! You can't help it. So get up there again, try to kill me. You don't want to, do you? Go ahead. Yeah. No, listen, no. But if you stay up there, it's called a pattern interrupt. No matter how bad you want to kill me, when I kick the table and move it just a little bit, you're much more worried about gravity and physics than you are about slapping me. So it's a pattern interrupt. Yeah. So if I have an aggressive dog and it's trying to come after me, I'll hold the leash and it goes, and I go, the dog goes, Jesus Christ. So you are associating that if you're going to kick the table, now there's one more thing in there than there used to be, which is I'm going to bite you. So you're controlling the dog's universe. Does that make sense? So that table gives me time. It's not much. And I used to be a lot faster. But now I'm going like the correct dog. I'm like, no! I missed! So what I'm saying to you is the table, if you did this on the floor, if Hank was on the floor, she can't see the movement as quickly, the disobedience. Yeah. He has to think about getting down. Yeah. You see it? Yeah. All right, high five.
Yeah, I think I think you're right, JC, and I think actually you'd get along with buddy of mine, Chris, that kind of started this whole conversation. He's very much kind of focused in the same way as what you were just talking about, with very focused on results in terms of really helping the dog. And he tells people it's gonna be uncomfortable, right? The process of getting to where you want to be is going to be uncomfortable, and he tells people all the time to embrace the suck. Right.
Well, that's why, because of that. See, that's the key right there. The reason why people will forego the actual service that gets them results is traditionally it requires work and it's expensive and it will be uncomfortable. So all these other things are like, hey, you don't even have to get out of freaking bed. Just give me $50 and I'll get you some followers or something like that.